Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well. Today we'll be making macaroni and cheese, and when it comes to comfort food, mac and cheese never really seems to fail us. However, today we'll be making a grown-up version of the same. It's absolutely guilt-free and we'll be producing a cheese sauce without the use of any cheese in it. However, we'll be getting that umami flavor which all of us love, however none of us can truly describe. And the reason why I make this sauce is not just because it's low calorie. I make it because the processed cheese available locally seems to lack flavor, and the reason for this could be the absence of animal-based rennet added during the cheese making process. So today we'll be replicating those flavors without any guilt of doing so. So let's start making this beautiful mac and cheese. So guys, today we'll be using this Macaroni Rigate. It's called Rigate because it's got these stripes on its surface which act as crevices to hold the sauce better, and this is my preferred choice of pasta for this particular recipe. Now it's time to start boiling our pasta. I'm going to add about 1.5 cup full of milk into my pan. At the same time, I'm going to sprinkle in a bit of pepper. You can use white pepper, I'm using black pepper, a little bit of salt, a little bit of smoked paprika powder, and just grate some nutmeg in it. Just give it a light stir and add a cupful of macaroni in your pan. So at this stage it has come to a boil and we are looking for a 90% cooked macaroni. The rest of it we'll cook with the sauce once it's ready. What I really love about macaroni is that it allows the sauce to seep inside these shells. So you must have noticed that I've boiled my macaroni in a pot full of milk instead of water. But you can obviously use water instead of milk to boil the pasta, as well as replace the yogurt in the sauce with some coconut milk, almond milk or water. And it will become a 100% vegan recipe. However, I decided to retain a little bit of the milky texture. So that is why I haven't avoided dairy in preparing this sauce. So now our macaroni is almost fully cooked. And now I'm going to keep it aside and start preparing for the sauce that we'll be making today. We'll start by sweating some garlic and some onion in a pan with a little bit of butter. So we do not need finely chopped vegetables for this, as it's all going to go in the blender. So I'm going to first add in some garlic, followed by some onion. Now in the same pan, I'm going to add some water. I have taken about 2 cups. Now I'm going to bring half a cup of pumpkin, half a cup of carrot and half a cup of potatoes to a boil. So for the purpose of blending in our vegetables, we'll make sure that it's fully cooked as well as we allow it to cool down before blending it. So to check the doneness of the vegetables, you just need to insert your knife and see how easily does each piece break. So I'm going to check it for all 3 of these and it's fully done. I'm going to remove it from the heat now. Now that the vegetables have cooled down, I'm going to start adding in the rest of the ingredients. So we'll start by adding a little bit of turmeric, followed by a little bit of pepper, followed by some oregano seasoning, followed by some smoked paprika powder. You can use chili powder if you do not have this. Very less salt. This is some English mustard that I have here. This will contribute in the umami taste that we are expecting from this cheesy sauce. And to increase that umami flavor, this is the most essential ingredient, which is the soy sauce. Instead of soy sauce, you can use nutritional yeast. I do not have it, so I'm using soy sauce, which pretty much gives us the same flavor. And here is some classic tomato ketchup. This will help in balancing out the flavors as it has a little bit of sweetness in it. And finally goes in some of this yogurt or dahi. This provides the sauce with a certain acidity which enhances the flavor. So our sauce has come out of the blender and here's how it looks. It is nice and creamy and has a nice bright yellow color. In case yours isn't as bright, just add a pinch more of turmeric to it. So now I'm going to add the entire batch of sauce into this beautiful pasta. So at this stage you must check for seasoning. I often flavor my dishes all throughout the recipe instead of adding all of it at once. So I'm going to add in a little bit of salt and a little bit of oregano. In case you feel that umami flavor is still missing, go ahead and add a little bit of soy sauce and a little bit of mustard and you will get there. Now it's time to bake this mac and cheese, and this step is completely optional. You may choose to avoid it and toss in a little bit of cheese and a little bit of herbs and you'll be good to go. However, I like to top this healthy recipe with just a tad bit of cheese to sort of hold the entire dish together. So let's start. So take any oven safe dish and add in your macaroni to it. You don't want your macaroni to be very dry, so make sure there's some liquid around it. So I use a combination of different kinds of cheese to give this nice color on top. So if you're a non-vegetarian and enjoy a slight meatiness in your flavor, I would recommend you to use any smoked cheese. However, scamozza in my opinion is one of the best cheeses to use for this particular dish. I'm using a combination of mozzarella and processed cheese. This step is completely avoidable. However, I do want that certain stringiness to my pasta, so I've added a little bit of cheese on top. Now this is also optional. I'm adding some tomato slice on top just to give it more color. And here are some breadcrumbs. Now these are store-bought breadcrumbs. If you use fresh breadcrumbs, just toast them a little using some butter or without it. And I'm going to add in a little bit of paprika to it, as well as some pepper, and mix it all in. Now I'm going to take a generous spoonful and put it on top. So we have prepped our dish, and now I'm going to put it in the oven for a good 10 to 15 minutes till I achieve a light golden brown color on top, and I'm going to put it at 180 degrees Celsius. So mac and cheese is ready and it's nice and golden brown from the top, and a person like me would usually just take a fork and dive into this pasta. However, I'm going to plate it up for those formal occasions which we sometimes have. Sprig of basil to add a dash of green, and finally some of the extra sauce which I saved. So guys, I hope you replicate this recipe at home, and please like the video and subscribe to my channel.